All right. Hello, everybody. Today is Friday, March 10th. You might notice that I'm not with a green screen, and I think my audio sync is a little bit wrong. But I'm just going to make do for now. I am downstairs. My office is a little bit cold, so I'm going to do my streaming from down here. I keep looking up at my screen behind me, or behind the laptop, just so that I can see what's going on. So I'm just going to dive right into it. Today we're going to just dive into DominoUI testing because there is a release candidate 18 that we're wanting to get out soon. So let's go to GitHub, DominoUI. Let's just take a look at the milestone 18. So there were a few things that I needed to test for the other bugs that I had opened. Disabled menu item still receives events. Hopefully everybody can hear me because I'm on a MacBook Pro mic. I'm not using my good microphone today. But let's go ahead and take a look. I don't think I have an example for this, so we're going to have to create a new example just to test this out. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to close everything out. I think I have all of my changes updated, and I'm on head snapshot. So this is the latest snapshot, just to test before it goes out as a release candidate 18. So first thing I'm going to do is open up the... I gotta look at the project. I don't remember the name of this. Enum. There it is. Domino Demo Views. So let's just go ahead and create one for menus. Right under component. Alright. Let's create a new class here, demo menu. Base view. Implement the init method. And let's make sure that I have this one imported. There we go. I'm watching my microphone levels go up. So maybe balance music against voice a bit. Oh, you don't? Might have to check that. Let me open up Firefox real quick. So the music's too loud, or what? Guessing captions aren't working because music is too loud. Oh. Well, I can definitely adjust that. It's hard to tell because I don't have the inline monitor, so it's really hard to tell what the music's doing. Trying to find my Firefox. I'm gonna have to log into this from my work container. Mic could be a little louder too. I could probably change that a little bit easier. Alright, so that is raising my mic gain up quite a bit, actually. Hopefully that's going to be good enough. Everything seemed fine whenever I did a sample recording earlier, but you never know whenever you actually drop it into a stream. Alright, so extensions. My extensions. Closed captioning panel. Not sure if I'm supposed to do anything else. Oh, click to start captions. I am not sure if that worked or not. Probably need a separate browser open just to see if this is working. Because I'm not actually seeing any closed captions on my side. Testing 1, 2. Turn on captions. Yeah, that's weird. Might have to have a stream where I'm just testing this out and not making it part of anything else. Yeah, I'm clicking to start captions. I know that you're not able to see this. Yeah, I guess this is something that I'll have to do at a different point. Oh well, I'll have to figure it out later. Alright, so back to what I was doing without captions apparently, because that is going to be something I have to do later. Alright, so I think I created enough to get a menu going. So the way I typically do these little demos, I probably just need like a basic demo or button drop down. So column dot apply this button drop down. Column add or append child card.create. And this is going to be button drop down, append child, button create, click me, menu, menu.create, append child, menu item, create, menu, option 1, 2, 3, 4, and then under this guy, I'm probably going to create a submenu. I think that's right. Menu.create, and then under that, append child, child menu item, sub 1. At least have 2 submenus. And that's basically it. Alright, so what's going on over there? I accidentally misspelled something. Go ahead and refresh that guy, and let's see what that's like. Oh, I wonder. I'm looking up and I'm seeing another. I'm gonna drop that audio down. I think it was doubling up on my audio. Maybe that's going to be a problem. I don't know. Alright, so menus. We can see the menus now. Click that. We have all of our options. We have our submenus. All of that works. So I am going to come in here, and for the submenus, I'm going to actually have 3, just so that I can see. Because the middle one, actually all of them are going to have some sort of toast. I don't know if there's toasts. I cannot recall. Components, alerts? No. Are there toasts? I know that I've seen them on the other demo, I just can't remember what they're called. Because whenever you click on something, you can see the toast up there, and I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's in the example code. Doesn't look like it. Maybe under buttons. Are there toasts and buttons? No, there's not. Alerts? Oh, I already did that one. Badges, no. Notifications, maybe. Yeah, notifications. That's what I'm looking for. So let's see how to do that. Notification.create and then show. Okay, I can do that. All right, so add click handler notification. Oh, why can't I spell today? But this is going to be this one. Clicked. I'm just going to show it. And hopefully that works. There's a lot of hiss on the mic. Oh, well, that might be just because it's the fan. Every time I start IntelliJ, my fan just whirs up. So that's a very high probability. Probably need to just bring a my other mic. All right, so there's sub 1 clicked, sub 2 clicked. Hopefully the hissing's not too bad. If so, I can probably change that up and come back. All right, so the issue was with disable. So let's just check disabled. Probably should have done this in the release candidate 17 first, just to see what it did. All right, cool. So it's not actually. It's kind of weird that it came up with a dictionary. So this one isn't clickable, which is good. So that one should be completed. So this one looks good. I'm just gonna label these. Oh, I need to log in. All right, look at my face for a little bit because I need to log into GitHub. I know that my passwords aren't actually shown because I use a password manager, but I didn't know what kind of information I was going to show. Here we go. All right, fix looks good to me. I should probably go this direction and go back to the milestones since I'm logged in now. Alright, so that one looks good to me. Allows configurable icons. I did test this. Noise suppression and or expander filter. Forgot. Yeah, I don't know if unless it's really bad, I probably don't want to do anything like that right now. I mean, I could always just change. Where's my mouse? my setup. Is on my big screen TV since I don't have my widescreen down here. So I'm having to look up pretty high. And I keep losing my mouse between the two screens. Let me configure my microphone. MacBook Pro microphone. I don't want to use my cell phone. That's stupid. Is it really that bad? I could probably add a filter on this. Like you said, add a hiss or audio filter. Noise suppression. Gonna require more GPU usage. How's that? Okay, so yeah, that doesn't look like it's picking up a lot of background noises. because the level goes all the way down. Okay, that's good. I can probably at least show that. No. Oh, that's not gonna work unless I show the whole window. Well, I could probably, you can see it barely because of the overlay. But the blue mic, because I used to have a blue mic, that's what I used to use. Actually, my Blue Yeti is what I use upstairs. But it actually goes completely down whenever I stop talking, so that's gonna be good. All right, cool. Thank you. We're testing it live. We are testing it live. All right, so sort icons. Let's go ahead and test a sort icon. So that one's good, and that one is going to be in the data table. I don't know if I have any with the sort plugin, so let's create one with the sort plugin. So in the data table, let's on the basic grid, I guess. Should I do it on the basic grid? Let me just create a different. Let's just copy this guy. This is all test code, so it doesn't matter if I copy and paste a bunch of times. It's not production. Sorted. There we go. So now we have a new sorted one, but I need to actually update the card. So this is for the sort plugin. Yeah, next time, next stream, if I'm downstairs again, I'm hoping not, but it's supposed to snow again next week. I don't know. It might still be cold up there, and I just don't want to spend the money on the propane. Alright, so the sort plugin, that's looking good. Gotta remember how to do this. Alright, so in my plugins here, these are all just columns, no plugins. So let's add a, not a column, but a plugin. New sort plugin. Let's just set one of these as sortable, and let's just do it on the make, I guess. Sortable. So in the store, local list data store, sort, record sorter. I think it's only one method. And that returns a comparable, I believe. Should have looked at that before turning it into a lambda. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Yeah, it's comparator. Yeah, let's just do it like this and then turn it into a lambda. Alright, sort by make. Is that what I did it on? Yeah. Equals sort by comparator of car comparator I'm not sure how to do that. I guess that's because car is not comparable. Yeah. I just return null because the only thing that I'm making sortable, I'm handling. Let's hope for the best. Alright, so by that I can return compare. No, I want comparator equals comparing. And I want car make And then if sort direction descending equals sort direction, then I want the comparator reversed. Otherwise, ow. I'll just do it all in here. Otherwise, return comparator. Yeah, it's not the best sorter, but I'm not trying to write a efficient sorting algorithm. Not production code, so no big deal. Can't remember. I think I need to actually add the column. Let's take a look at how to do that. One of those things I have to look up every single time because I haven't done this too many times. So you just have to add the sortable and plug in, sort plugin. Is that what I need? No, that's for the sort. Oh, I am, okay, sorry. I'm thinking of the filter. This actually does have the other sort on it. I got my plugins mixed up. All right, so cool. There we go. So that actually does sort pretty well. And what was the ticket? Allow configurable icons. That's right. So let's just check out the API for configurable icons. While I'm in here, I can replace that with a lambda. Sort plugin. Configure. I actually need to put the generics for that. And set the... Oh, that's nice. So you can change it so that you only see the sort icon for the sorted columns only. That way you're not littering up. So if I come over here, refresh this. Oh wait, I need to remove that config. But you'll see it. It doesn't have the icon until I actually sort it. Of course, it changes the height. That's a styling issue. But I removed that, and I want to make another column sortable so that we can see that. So this is the model. If model equals sort by, where's my keyboard not working? There we go. So now make and model taken care of. That was pretty simple. Refresh that. And I should see it without the icons on both columns. Oh wait, because I removed that code. But you can see that how both of these columns have the up and down sort. And then whenever you click on one, it replaces it with the sort both directions. So one of my use cases, I need to not have that icon shown and only show the icon if it's actually being a sorted column. I don't know if this supports multi-column sorts. I guess you could write something like that in where it remembers the last couple of comparators and applies them in a particular order. But here you can see that both of these are sorting, and it's only showing the icon on the sorted column, which is, in my opinion, a lot better. Yes, you can't tell that this column is not sortable, except for the fact that it's not clickable. I mean, there might be some other indicator. But we can also change the icon, so let's take a look at that. So you can also set the ascending icon to icons.mdi_icons.table. Nope, tab. That was the first one that came up. Oh, that's a supplier. We need a supplier. There we go. So now it's going to be a tab icon for ascending. Descending is going to be the same, but ascending we updated. Boop. So there we go. You can see that we have a different icon for the ascending. Nice. Because there are other icons that people might want to be able to use. Looking at the, not the typography, but the MDI icons. There's also just this entire set of icons. There's plenty of arrows in here. Kind of wish this was sortable or searchable. Sort of like the material icon. If I'm not mistaken, this is searchable. So if I do like arrow, it'll show me all of the ones that kind of relate or have some sort of tag of arrow, which is nice, because trying to find these, it's rough sometimes. Alright, so that one looks good to me. There was a request from Frank Hosfeld for making a global config, but that one might be a Domino 2.0 type thing, because everything is changing for the other theming. But this does seem to work pretty well. Here's all of the options. Tri-state sort. Oh, that's kind of nice. But the fix looks good to me. Let me edit that. Okay, sorry about that. I had a cough and I didn't know how to mute my microphone without a button. We may want to do the global icon change as part of UI 2.0 with the rest of the theming updates. There we go. Alright, so commented on that one. Modal dialogues are not modal. So this one is a Frank. Open the showcase demo, blah blah blah. Open a sheet and try to open another one. I think it's because if you look, I can still receive focus. I don't know if you can see that very well, but whenever I'm tabbing through, even though they're behind the modal backdrop, I can still click on it, and whenever I hit the space bar, it'll actually open up. I think that might be what he's talking about. So that's still an issue, it looks like. I think I did have a fix for this that I was playing around with. Yeah, right here, I created a small utility to basically disable a larger area. So then you would be able to pass in the element at a higher level of what you want to disable. It's not exactly what's needed here, but it has helped me in the other past. And all this does is basically adds a capturing event listener for focus, and whenever that happens, it just blurs the element. Stop the immediate propagation and blurs it. I didn't know what else to do with it, but it did work for me. So if you want to disable a large area, that's a possibility. That way things can't actually receive focus. I mean, if you're not putting a modal block in front of it, you're still going to be able to click on it though. And I think that might have to be a different type of fix. So that one still needs to be done. Best ups down. Yeah, so this is a calculation of the available space for the menus. This one might be a little bit more difficult to test, unless I were to copy that. So let's do that menu. I know this is weird, but this is basically just going to repeat this several times. That way I can have a scroller. Yeah. So if I'm down here at the bottom of the screen, if I click it, it goes up. That was weird. So whenever I had this and I scrolled, then I click again. Shouldn't that go away? That's an interesting bug. And it only is really apparent if it opens at a different direction. Could also notice if it's a multi-level. So let's, in the sub, let's do another menu. Let's just see what that looks like. So this one, whenever I did not do anything. Oh, so it orphans both of those. Wonder if that's something to be fixed, but this is unrelated to the actual fix. So let's go back over here, take a look at that. I think the change is correct. We went back and forth a little bit in regards to the calculations, but I think it all ended up being correct. Oh wait, where's the fix for that? Ow. I clicked on the wrong thing. Inner height minus bottom. I don't know if we needed the window page Y offset. I put that in my my test, but that one should be fine. Oh, and there was also an issue. I don't know if it's been fixed yet. With the menus, because of the fact that this is an inline menu, it was throwing a lot of exceptions in one of my environments because it's trying to find the target anchor. So if I come here and I clear this, whenever I scroll the body, it's wanting to change the target bounding location, and it's failing. So that one actually needs to be repaired. Guess that can be a separate issue because that's going to be menu in general. Because if we take a look at this, we're going to have to do this in. I'm not sure how to reproduce it in mine very well. Yeah, I can do it. So this one is going to be apply this dot embedded. Inline's probably a better choice of words, but for that, probably just need to create this as a completely different method. I hate when that happens. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit cleaner. Then child create menu. So this one's going to put the menu inline at the other very top, but because we're doing it inline, it doesn't have a target element for the drop. So if I were to open up my dev tools here, and I were to I have to scroll this one for some reason. Why isn't that scrolling? There we go. I may not be able to reproduce this because I think this is on the head snapshot. Yeah. Did I last build on 228 though? That's been a while ago. I mean, I could just update my POM back to the 1.17 snapshot. So yeah, let me do that. I want to see the red bar because it may have already been fixed. All right, first that. Yes, that's my ceiling. It's hard to keep track. Oh, this issue is fixed but not deployed. Okay, cool. I just wanted to get the red bar. So everybody watching, that's Ahmad. He is one of the developers for DominoUI. So let me go ahead and clean, install. Just going to double check to make sure. Oh, haha. Yes, that doesn't exist any longer. Just to make sure that it all works out. Go. So start that guy up. And just to be on the other safe side, I'm going to also clear the other GWT cache. I typically do that whenever I upgrade dependencies, because you never know. Hello, it's not that big of an app. There we go. And number 2. Is that done? I can never tell. Let's go ahead and clean that. Refresh. Let's see if that issue is broken. I mean, we did see it on the other demo, but as Ahmad just said, hasn't been deployed yet, so that would explain it. Because this was 2.28 as the other last build time. There's been a lot of changes since then. Yeah, I can't wait till I start getting all of this on Jackal. So I think the compile times and everything will improve considerably. There we go. Yeah, there it is. And that's the one that's just triggering it, even though any of the other directions would have done the exact same thing. But any time that I try to scroll this one, you can see that counter going up right there. If I scroll the right thing, and that's because, again, this is not on doesn't have a target. So cool, that one's resolved. Don't need to create a ticket for it. I don't know what I just did. Here, let's go ahead and go back to head. Snapshot. Stop all. I always like to see the other red bar, just in case I am testing wrong. To refresh that. Cool. All right, so let's head back over here. So that's taken care of. So that looks good. So the fix looks good to me. Fix looks good to me. So we could probably go ahead and close these tickets out. That one's still an issue. That one's done. Can't change the icon of a drop-down button. No fix for this yet. Wonder why that's the case. Let's take a look at it. Go ahead and start servers back up. Collapse that. Alright, so what is this? So button, drop-down button. I'm not familiar with the drop-down button. Let me just get rid of that. Is it just a normal button? Or is there a special drop-down button? There's a drop-down button. New component will open a drop-down menu when clicked by default. Isn't that the same as just a button that has a drop-down? Let's take a look at it. Alright, while that's building, let's go ahead and come into the... Do I not have a button demo? Do not have a button demo. Let's just put it in a menu for now. Isn't that just the same as a button? No. Doesn't even extend button. Drop down action. Drop one. Let's see what that looks like. I am not familiar with it. So that's a little different than the drop menu. I wonder if this is something that I would use. Drop down button. Oh! Okay. So it basically looks like a select-ish. But it doesn't actually change a value. It's just a menu. Oh, okay. I mean, these all do the same thing. I guess the only real difference is the icon. And the ticket says that we tried to set an icon. Okay, let's try that out. Set icon. Icons. MDI. File. Sure. It uses a deprecated drop-down, should move to menu. I mean, it's not deprecated. I mean, I would assume that these would be deprecated. But even then, shouldn't you be able to change the icon, even if it's a menu? So I mean, ignore the drop down actions. Yeah, that makes sense. We could always do set menu and create the menu that way. There's no drop down menu, is there? These are drop down actions. Are you saying that drop down action is deprecated? Oops, I did not need to close that. There is a component. Oh, see, this just adds an icon. Doesn't change the drop icon. Just trying to understand this ticket. Oh, so this is creating a drop-down button with an icon. Okay. So I should do that first. So are you saying that the drop down? Well, okay, I get it. I think. So this is sure dock. This is probably going to have an exception thrown, according to the bug report, and it does. Insert before on node. The node before which the new node to be inserted is not a child of this node. Wow, that's great. There we go. So, failed to execute. Insert before on node. The node before which the new node is to be inserted is not a child of this node. Oof. Let's see what that's doing. I'm assuming it's right there. $173. Oh wait, that's not a right line number. That is not line numbers. Well, I could always... That's weird. Didn't they used to have an icon here for that? What version of Chrome am I on? Yeah, I'll check later. Legal argument exception. All right. Sorry. It's hard for me to watch chat whenever it's on a completely different monitor. There's a component. Oops, I guess I know what is going on. I expected a text node there. Okay. So whenever we set the icon, if is null icon, it's not. So it'd come down here, it's not. So if is null content, it is. And the content, oh wait, non-null. Sorry. Is null, non-null. Alright, is null icon, it shouldn't be null, so we would be done here. If non-null icon, so it's going to this insert after the icon for this icon. That was fun. That doesn't sound right. Here, let me refresh again. Let's look at the other call stack just to be certain. Ow, that is really not gonna let me do that. So what class is this? Base button. Set icon. So in here, do not want to pause on exceptions, and let's see if this works. Do we get there? We do. So let's just go ahead and throw in some of these. Cool, so we're here. So if non-null, I don't feel like looking stuff up, so I'm just going to do that. Oh, so it was null. Content. So it didn't even go inside there. So button element append this stud icon. Oh wait, is this the original? Okay, so this is the original call. That makes sense. So I need to put some of these breakpoints back in. So this is the call from the constructor, from the drop down button create. So then if I hit play again, so this is set icon from there. So this time the icon should exist. Yeah, so the icon is non-null. That's why it went here instead of up here. Hit play again. We have a temp insert after. So it's going to insert after the current icon. Yeah, well, that's right. That makes sense. So insert after. Not sure why it's saying insert before. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something. So this is insert after. Oh, there's the insert before. Oh, so it's checking for a next sibling, and because there isn't a next sibling. That's probably what it is. Yeah, so that one definitely needs to be fixed. I'm not sure what the clean fix for that would be. Insert after. And this just calls insert before other node. So right here we have the new icon, the old icon. Next sibling. Yeah, this doesn't have a sibling. So I guess right here it would have to check to see if there is a next sibling. I don't know. I don't have the source code to test it out, but I'm assuming that would be it. Let me refresh. So this is the first go around with the constructor. This is the second go around. So here I want to insert before some other node element. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's where it gets node before, which I can read it better whenever it's on the screen. I'm assuming that's the case. I think I don't know. I mean, it looks like it might be because we're doing an insert after new node, other node, but then the other node we're getting the next sibling. Wouldn't that be null? mean, what if you had... Oh, there. Right? I don't know. Right. It makes sense to keep that as an internal change. All right. Well, that one is all on you to test out. So that one's definitely a bug. We can reproduce it. Implement a tree grid. Yeah, this one I'm still testing. I can't really test this one very well on stream. For a large data set. I mean, the demo looks very promising, and I do have some code that is able to handle this, and it seems to be somewhat comparable with the same work that I've done with the GXT tree grid. I don't know if this would work with a live view, unless it's coming out as individual records and just appending. That's something that still needs to be checked at some point. Might be nice to look at. So that is all of the open ones. So it looks like we should be able to close that one, that one, this one, and probably this one. At least from what I've seen, it's probably acceptable, at least for a release candidate. I don't know. What else is in here? I mean, we're probably going to need a release candidate 18 sometime soon, so I don't want to pack it too much, only because of current deadlines. I mean, we already have these 5 that are closed. Seems like a lot was referring to disable, because we got action item disable, enabling disable container components. What was that one? I opened it and I don't remember it. Oh, it's with button groups. Guess that's similar to the same issue as some of these others. But yeah, I think my preference would be to release candidate 18 sometime soon. If we could, I mean, this one's a pretty big one too. I think this one definitely should be looked at, even if it's just utilizing something similar to the utility that I created for just blurring those focus events off. But I think that's going to be the case with a lot of widget libraries, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that we can do that with GXT. If you were to tab, unless it removes all of the tab indexes off of everything that's behind that modal, it's very difficult to do that. Yeah, so I think we're pretty good with the changes that are in here. Yeah, there's 3 pages of fixes out there. Might want to go back through these at some point just to see if there's any kind of actual bugs that need to be worked on. Looks like for the most part the ones that are labeled bug has already been worked. This one's kind of old, almost 3 years ago. Well, August, 2.5 years ago. Yeah, some of these we'll just have to see if they're actually still an issue. At least that's my initial glance at it. Alright, so it is 2 o'clock. I'm going to take a quick break. Whenever I come back, I'm probably going to switch gears. I don't think there's any more testing that needs to be done on the DominoUI side. I think everything that I cared about is already worked on. It's just a matter of getting it in there as an actual release sometime soon. Get rid of all of these breakpoints because I will... Actually, I'm probably going to be switching workspaces to a different project. And I'll be right back. All right, I am back. I need to turn this music down. And it looks like I may have been able to get the closed captionings to work. Apparently it just wasn't going to work with Firefox. I don't know if it's keeping up with me or not. Hey, there it is, yeah. It's not very good, but we'll just see how well it works over time. All right, so what I wanted to do is switch gears a little bit. I feel like there's not a lot of great support for WebSockets, or not WebSockets. There's good support for WebSockets, but web workers in the GWT world. So I was going to play around a little bit with web workers. It is 2:18 Eastern. I basically just have an hour left before my family comes in, and since I'm in the main living room, they're all going to be here. Yeah, that's good. I don't know how useful it is. I'm watching it on the side of my screen, and I guess I would have to see it on the Twitch side to see how well it works. But in this little project, I created this a long time ago, and I just wanted to see if I was able to create a web worker where I could do SDM at the same time. I know that GWT does support web workers. Obviously, you would have to compile a separate GWT module to have a JS file that you can actually load with the other worker. So if we were to take a look at the main, so I have 3 projects. One is the server. I know, it might. I'm playing around with it just to see what I can do. I mean, I think that would be a big boon. Yeah, I would hope that Jackal would support something like that. But the server is basically going to be the Tomcat web server, so I should be able to at least get that running. So let's go ahead and start that guy up. And then I have the client main. So this is basically your application, the main app. So if I take a look here, it's basically just going to be main gwt.xml. It has its own entry point. I look at the entry point, and here I'm just creating a new worker with a worker nocache.js. And this is a Elemental 2 worker. In case you're not familiar with that, you might want to take a look at all of the MDN documentation on web workers. The biggest problem that I'm having is the fact that a lot of the SDM client code is trying to do DOM related stuff. Because if you remember, whenever we refresh this app, it actually pops up a dialog for compiling. Obviously, we can't do that on the worker side because we don't have access to modify the DOM. So we'll have to do things a little bit different. So basically, all I'm doing in my main entry point right now is logging out, hey, I'm inside the main thread, and I want to post a message of null for now, just a string null, and load up my worker cache or worker thread as a worker. So we could just ignore the main for now and live completely in client worker. This one's going to be a little interesting because I have to do a few things. So in the gwt.xml, I do define a linker. And I was trying to create a worker linker. And I add that linker as a, called it web worker. And I have my own entry point in here. I think. Worker entry point, where is that? Oh, it's going to be under the Java side. So I have my worker linker, which is just a cross-site iframe linker. And right now it just has a description, compilation extension, cache.js, empty string for the module prefix, suffix, empty. And here I'm just returning for the script template. I have a worker linker template.js. Taking a look at that, pretty straightforward. Just provides the generic stuff of the module function, any kind of post message, stringifying, that kind of stuff. Just playing around with it just to see what any of this does. And I did take a look at the actual worker linker template. I can't remember what it's called. I got it from the gwt source. So that one's pretty straightforward. I also have this stub nocache.js. So if I take a look at stub nocache.js from the gwt dev jar, it's really not a lot. All it does is, because it's a template, a stub, this stuff gets replaced at compile time. So it'll actually inject the module name and the dev server port at the code server runtime. We can't do this part though. We can't insert a script element, not inside of a worker thread. So we have to do that a little differently. Oh, that's interesting. So I have Twitch open on my phone, and I was just trying to see what the closed captioning looks like on mobile. Kind of interesting. So that's just the live stream right now on the mobile. Not too bad. Not too shabby. I guess if you had a screen reader on your mobile, you'd be able to read everything that's going on. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. And like I said, this is all just experimentation. I know that Colin is probably cringing at the idea of trying to do this, but I think it would be cool. I guess, yeah. Duh. Shut up. I'm thinking of the wrong disability. Yeah, whenever I worked at a different company, we had to do a lot of ADA compliance for screen readers. Oh, thanks for the follow. Jim Marbo Twitch. So that's where my headspace was. But anyways, so instead of inserting a script tag, we don't have to do any of these event listeners and stuff like that, because of the fact that it's basically going to be loaded immediately. It's part of the thread that is already loading it. So I could just do import scripts of that no cache URL. The biggest problem with that is, let's just take a look at it real quick. Do I have everything running? I do not. So let's go ahead and run our main. And this one I'm actually just using the gwt configs that work with IntelliJ. Seems to happen every time I try to run it first. So here's the main thread. And the whole idea is I would really like to be able to develop SDM on both the client application as well as the worker thread without having to do weird things. So it would be very nice to get a worker thread SDM capable. All right, so now we have both of them. Let's take a look at the other configurations real fast. You're probably wondering that. So for the main one, I'm listening on port 8000. Code server port is 9876. I guess that's my server. So if I take a look at my Tomcat server here, I think it's listening on 8000. Yeah, so 8000. So we tell the main thread that we're on port 8000, and then the code server is running on 9876. So that's just the normal setup. But for the worker thread, I couldn't run on the same port, so I'm listening on 9877. So that's how I'm doing that. So that way they both have their own code servers that they're able to get to. So you can see this one. If I were to go to that URL, we would have two different ones. So this is the main one, and if I come over here and oops, not that. That was some testing I was doing before. This guy right here, this is the code server for the web worker. So here we are on 8000. So this little bit right here, this compiling client, that one's going to cause us a problem because of the fact that we don't have access to DOM and the worker thread. So if you take a look, we're basically dying in the worker no cache whenever it's executing this. I mean, we're actually getting farther than that. If I were to what is that importer for? If I do this, ow. Yeah, I was playing around with some stuff. Let me just get rid of some of this stuff. I'm probably going to get rid of all of this stuff later. I was just seeing how much I could actually use on the... Oh, and that's the other thing. Because I'm changing these stubs, I actually have to restart the worker execution. Not fusion, execution. There we go. It's not infallible. Looks like the closed captioning is still problematic at times. But it's not terrible. Seems to be keeping up pretty well. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I did get to the debugger, and this is in the worker no cache. So then whenever I hit play here, it tries to do the import script, but then we're going to have some issues with that. Even though I'm not seeing the issues, so I probably need to pause on exception. What is this? Let me remove all breakpoints. Debugger. Now, let me do that one first. Get down to there. Now do it? Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. I just know that this isn't going to work. directly. So let's take a look at our network here. Probably better with a better mic too. Oh wait, I must have missed something. Oh, the captions. Yeah, my head wasn't there anymore. And I'm going to clear that. Then I'm going to hit play because my no cache URL is this one, and it's got the correct port, and it's got the appropriate module name. But that isn't going to work. There we go. And the reason that's not going to work is because it's doing a lot of DOM stuff. This one's actually kind of interesting. So if I actually go to this URL, 270019877, go to this one. Let's take a look at this JavaScript that we have going on here. So this is why I added window and document. So if I come over here, I add self, win to self, doc to self, and this self is the global global something or other. Let me refresh so that we can see that. Self. It's the dedicated worker global scope. If you can see that right there. So that's what self is. So I'm basically, it provides a lot of the methods and things that you normally would have on a window, but not exactly. So yeah, the dedicated worker global scope. So whenever we're doing like console and stuff, this actually has a console. So whenever you call console in a worker thread, that is actually the dedicated worker global scope console. But taking a look down here, so it was able to grab the module name as worker. And that's only because that is the rename to. That's the module name. For different uses, it'll be a different name. Where was I? Property providers. We don't have any property providers. So it looks like it's concatenating multiple scripts together. Because of the fact that we also have a copyright down here. And I know exactly which scripts these are. So if we take a look at this and come up here, we have a recompile main. That's not it. Recompile template. This one looks like the outermost. So we have, make sure my webcam's not covering this up. We have this part. So if I scroll up to the very top, we can see this stuff is the same as this stuff. So then it replaces the module name with a quoted module name. And then all of the property providers. Then it gets into these parts. So we have a lib or lib.js, which is going to be this guy. And that gets inserted in there. So if I look at that, it's namespace lib. So if I come down here, it's got the that, but then it has namespace lib. And then that continues all the way down to base URL provider. So if I go down here to base URL provider. I remember it was quite a bit of junk. There it is. So that's the end of that file. But then the very next one is going to be the recompile main. And it looks like it just shoves that in there in its entirety. Probably does some escaping, like module. No, that's a variable. Never mind. These might just be pushed in there verbatim. Doesn't look like this one was modified at all. Yeah, looks like it's fine. But this one also has like the module load and unload, so that stuff's not going to work for us because we don't have those events. So let's just figure out the basic parts of this. See if this is even worth the effort, because if we trace through this, basically it gets down to here and it checks the ready state. And I tried to change the ready state of this earlier to complete just so that it would execute something. And I was also playing around with creating out stubbed out functions for create element, just to see how far I can get with just stubbing stuff out and just ignoring the fact that we're not actually going to be appending things to the DOM. But this one, I wanted to make sure that it just executed main immediately, because if the document ready state is complete or loaded, it'll execute this immediately without having to go through the weird event handlers. So then execute main, that is basically this right here, which is all of this down to here. So this is the bottom of execute main. And then all it does is creates new main with the module name, which is going to be worker, and then any of the property providers, and those were all injected in. Right now I don't have any because there's no configurations for the other property providers. But the main, so we're all just trying to figure out how to decompile this, see what's worth it. We have this function main right here that takes the module name, property providers, but then it has these other classes that it contains. I'm not sure how much we're going to need. I think the problem is whenever we get down to new dialogue, because dialogue right here, that's where it comes up with the document create element, setting some styles on it. And then assigning them to this, which is going to be, I guess, window? Or no, the dialogue itself. Right. It's just makeshift, but obviously this kind of stuff isn't going to work in a worker thread. Right, I'm just trying to figure out where that actually is, because there's other import scripts in here, or inject script, sorry, import script. So here it's trying to create a script element with some sort of URL, placing it in the head, which also doesn't exist. So I would have to replace these with import scripts. That might be a little tricky. I mean, I could just do... I was playing around with this a long time ago, and I have a stub old cache, and what I did was basically just copied that entire file over in its entirety. Obviously, it's not going to work because I think I have some hard-coded places in here where it's meant to have been replaced. But I was looking at changing out. If I take a look at execute main, it does all of this. I could probably clean a lot of this stuff up. But it was inject script tag. So here I was looking into using the fetch, being able to fetch the URL, and I was getting into the whole cores issues, and I wasn't entirely sure what to do with the response. I could probably throw in a debugger here. So what if I were to I should probably oh, it looks like I already did that. Let me copy this. Yeah, let me just shelve changes. Back up. This shelf changes. All right. So then, okay, looks like that was already that way. Just want to get rid of that. Okay, cool. So let's take a look at this. Let's rerun this worker. Let's just see what it does. I did comment out quite a bit, I think, because we didn't need like the dialogue and all of that crap. Not entirely sure what to do about property providers. I might be able to do some replacements on that on the fly. I don't know. Again, this is all just experimental to see what can be done. Hey, it hit my debugger. Look at that. So my response I'm not sure what my response is. Was it expecting? Because it actually worked. Did it compile? Yeah, look at that. My worker thread actually did the compiling permutations. What do you know? Did that actually work? I just don't know what to do with the response. Let's take a look at that. Inject. Nope. Inject. Nope. Where is that? Inject. There it is. Globals callbacks. Okay. I need to figure out how to do the. I need to effectively block tell that returns, which you can do in a worker, and then load the real thing. What do you mean? I'm not sure if we're in the same spot. I'm just trying to figure out what to do with this response. So I got the response object back, and I think I need to call. Oh, I see what you're doing. Yeah. Because it's actually executing, because of it being a script tag, it's actually having to execute the script that comes back. But I'm not actually getting anything back, am I? So you can't parse it. Right. I just don't know what I have back. The response is empty. Response text. And then you're too early for the response. Okay, so I have to do this within. I probably can't do this in a response text. Then debugger. Oh wait. Should be able to do that, right? Because I have another then there. Another then. I do need to restart this now. Unexpected end of input. My result is empty. Yeah, it is weird. Let me copy that. Let me go directly to it. Yeah, that's not empty. Log on the server. We're gonna. I don't know. But I mean, that's definitely not empty whenever I go to it directly. Yeah. Possibly, because the work. Let me see. How does this work? Yeah, I know. I don't even remember whenever I started this little project. It was just something that I was looking at because I've been wanting to do a database type stuff on the other client, and I was wanting to look at worker threads for doing some of it, even if it's like JS types, just converting everything out to JS types. Might be kind of cool to see if that's even an option. I know that worker threads have been used for things like what was that, PouchDB? Yeah, so this is a JavaScript database. So this is kind of my goal here. Being able to have a database on the other client. I know that it's going to have some issues if there's non-JS types. I'm already aware of that. Just want to experiment because we need more tools on the other Glit world. It's tools like this that was like, hey, look, shiny thing, really nice. Let's try Jackal out. And that's kind of what I'm wanting to do. I'm not entirely sure why that is not working. I don't know if I can do this in a breakpoint. Unexpected token return. Still thinking in terms of Java. Let me remove the cores, I guess. I don't remember if I needed to have that or not. What? Oh, did the captions spell out Jackal? That one was Jackal. J2CL. Not J... Oh, there we go. It actually did J2CL as a single word. That's surprising. Now it just needs to figure out Jackal versus J2CL. Address already in use. What? Oops. Yeah, 9877. Sometimes IntelliJ doesn't release the ports immediately. So I just have to sit here and spam the play button until it actually releases that port. I don't know why. Is it a Mac thing? Or is it an IntelliJ thing? Is it a Java thing? I don't know. I'm assuming it's a Mac thing. Oh, does it? Like, release the port, please. There we go. Thank you. Okay, so this time I've commented out the cores stuff. I don't remember if I needed that. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do need cores. Alright, so access to fetch. It's because I'm running this from 8,000. Right, that's the reason why I needed to do cores. $8,000. I need to stop looking at the closed captioning. Because it's trying to retrieve, because this is doing a fetch instead of using a script source. You can't access different ports, different hosts. So that's a pain in the butt. That's very possible. It could be setting up Jetty wrong too, but I think that's a legit issue, right? Because we're executing the worker thread from port 8,000, but then we're trying to do a fetch on a URL that's not the same host, same port. So then we have a CORS violation, or CORS, I don't know if that's pronounced that way. So that's why I had to change the mode to no cores. Cores. Like the beer. Oh, yeah, so I was talking about the port not being... Oh. Okay. Yeah, that's probable too. Yeah, I don't know what the delay in the stream is right now. But we do need this no cores. C-O-R-S. Otherwise, it's not going to be able to hit the server at all. But I'm wondering if the content is still blocked. Yeah. I think that might be the case. I knew what you meant. So this experiment might die soon. Sooner than later. Well, hopefully so. So this is a question, this isn't an answer. All right, so this might actually be a good homework assignment for the next week. Oops, wrong button. I thought I had a stream uptime timer. Looks like I have been streaming for an hour and a half. Not a long time today. But I might have to call it quits since it's 3 o'clock and should be seeing a bus around the corner soon. But I think we're at least a good spot where I need to do a little bit of research. I'm at least in the headspace of where I was a year or so ago whenever I was doing this. Just need to figure out how to actually get the content out, because if I could, basically it needs to execute this code in line. It basically needs to eval the content coming back, because then it would be able to actually execute that. So if I come over here, oh, I think I stopped my server, didn't I? I did. Let me at least get back to that spot. My result is empty. So does this exist? It does. Obviously, that's the wrong value. I need this value to be right here. So if I execute that, then it should be able to at least continue. So now if I look at GWT SDM globals, it no longer has that callback. Right? Oh, callbacks. Yeah, it's empty, because it was able to execute it and remove it. So yeah, I need to figure out how to get the result text and then being able to evaluate it. Then once I get that, then we're basically done. The only thing that I don't really care for is the fact that my stub.no cache that all of this is going in, I basically had to put it in the same namespace So it does have to use a class loader trick, so that it loads this stub nocache.js instead of the other one that the other code server is actually trying to load. I could probably find out if there's any kind of reflection related stuff that I can do with that, but I'm just trying to get something to work first, and then we can proceed from there. But might have a couple more minutes, and while I'm waiting for family to get here, let's go ahead and keep looking at this to see if there's anything that we can do about getting the request response, or sorry, the response from that request. Oh, I know. There's a lot of moving parts in it. I don't even know if this will work very well with. Oh, it is that time. Any of the see, here's the providers. If I had a bunch of property providers, it would have to do all of this crap, and I am not entirely sure how to do that yet. So yeah, that is my homework assignment for the other week. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. Making it work over SSL. Yeah, that I've had a lot of issues with, and I've ended up using like Node.js with a proxy with Node in order to be able to do all of the SSL proxying before. It's not very good. I mean, it works, and I'll have to show you that at some point. But for now, I appreciate everybody that stopped by. I'm going to be exporting this to YouTube shortly after the stream ends. Check us out over there, and I will be back next week to continue playing around with web workers, and we'll go from there. Take it easy.